Hi, my name is Jay Sheldon, the Viessmann Academy trainer here in the US. Today's class is going to be on the F38 fault here on the HA boiler. With that being said, let's go take a look at our fault code checker and our pro resources to see what this fault is and how to repair it and what the outcome will be of checking this boiler. Okay, after looking at our fault code checker, as we can see, we do still have the F38 fault on our boiler, which is saying that it's something to do with our fixed high limit or our boiler operating, not a boiler operating temperature sensor, which is our number 3 sensor, and that's pretty much on every single one of our boilers, the 200 as well. As you can see, it does say number 3 here on our sensor, but things that we do want to take a look at is, do we have enough water in our boiler? Yes, we do. We did hear that our pump did come on, so we know that it's not a pump problem. As well as we can take a look and make sure that we're completely free of airbound, or not airbound, but we do have a complete full boiler. So we would just take our hose that comes with the boiler, stick it on the bleeder here, and I already do have it in our faucet bucket here. Take our key. This key also comes with the boiler. And we're just going to make sure that we're free of air, and we're not airbound, and we're completely full with water all the way up to the top of the boiler. As you can see, we're pretty solid. No air bubbles, no air pockets, so we know it's free of air. Okay, so to get started on this one here, we're just going to power down. We'll get that hose out of the way so you can see what we're doing. 2 ways you can check this sensor itself is in the service manual. You'll have a chart, and it's an ohms chart with the boiler. You can check this with your meter, and you're going to put it on kilo ohms. Mine's automatic, so it automatically checks the ohms. And what we're going to do is we'll set up our meter here so you can actually see me do it. And we're just going to touch the 2 prongs on here and see what we're getting for an ohms reading. Once we get that ohms reading on there, we'll now go to our chart and look at our chart to see how it compares with the boiler water temperature and in line with our reading of our ohms reading. Once we do that, we find that the sensor is out of whack, or it might be off 20 degrees, why it fails. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to isolate our boiler, shut all our valves going to the boiler, feed valves. I'm going to hook our hose back up to the bleeder here. And I'm going to open up our boiler drain. Now that all our faucets are shut off, I'm going to open up our boiler drain on the left-hand side of the boiler. And we're going to drop our pressure on the boiler to 0. Remember, our sensor's at the very top of the boiler, so we really don't have to drain a lot of water out of the boiler. Just enough so we're not going to get wet. It's up to you. You can completely drain it with me. You know, time is of the essence on some calls, especially in the winter time, so we got to keep moving. So with this one here, we're going to just need either a small screwdriver or our finger just to take the clip off itself. I have a little cup to make sure if I catch any water coming out. as well as you want to put the plastic bag over your control. It's going to be a little bit of water, not much. If you don't have a plastic bag, rag, you want to cover things so it don't get wet. Now that I have it pretty much completely drained here, I'm going to get the new sensor. And I did take the liberty of getting a new sensor. Comes with a new clip, comes with a little packet of grease for your O-ring. And here's your part number itself. As you can see, the original ones were brass. And now they're all stainless steel. All we're going to do is take a little bit of that grease and just put a little layer around on the O-ring itself so it slides in nice and easy. Push it in till it stops. Take your new clip, or you can use the old clip and just stick it back in there. Once they're in, we're in. We'll put our 2 wires, remember? It does say number 3 on them, and it doesn't matter which side you put these on, it's just a switch. Once we do that, we're going to now open up our valve, feed water back into the system. Just make sure you're not leaking. Good to go. We're going to power back on our boiler and see if we fix the fault. So we'll power back on. I do hear a little bit of air in there. We'll take our bleeder once again. Give it a burp. We got a nice solid, see all the bubbles are gone. As you can see, our fault has gone, so we did repair the problem. We'll get this boiler to fire. I have to turn the faucet on. Okay, the boiler did fire. Ramping right up on temperature, we went right to high fire. All the air is out of the system. All right, I still hear a little air, so I'm going to shut it down for a second and just tweet it one more time and get those little bubbles that are at the top out. You can actually hear them come out. Power the boiler back on. Okay, the boiler just fired. It's nice and quiet now. We don't hear that air going through the boiler. So this concludes our F38 faults for today's class. And remember, these classes are for licensed trained professionals. Thanks for joining us here at Viessmann Academy. Have a great day.